on an entirely different subject, how did Shouty Half Hour come about?
Oh, okay.
This is how we met.
Right, okay, so Shouty Half Hour.
Because people ask me and say, what's this hashtag, Shouty Half Hour? What is it? And I say, well...
So Shouty Half Hour started, I don't know how many years ago, when I was sitting on the sofa watching Gardener's World, shouting at the television.
A bit like Gogglebox for gardeners.
Gogglebox for gardeners. And my husband tweeted, it wasn't me, oh my gosh, here we go, Shouty Half Hour has started. And it just stuck.
And it's sort of grown.
And it's grown and it's massive and people use it all the time. And you know,
and what I try to say to people is, this isn't a group of people who are just ranting
No.
at what Gardener's World is doing. This is our premier gardening programme, and we seem to just, it's almost as though the producers just, it's the 5th of May, that film
we
will
need
do.
to be doing that. And actually,
and it
what
goes
we
over and over.
And it's the same thing year in, year out. It's how to grow a sweet pea, how to grow a tomato, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that real basic stuff. But actually, hello, there's a whole load of gardeners out there that know all that stuff, and we want inspiration and
yet
excitement.
when they want to inspire us, they went to Barbados for 3 weeks, which was fantastic.
Very lovely, and
But-
I'm sure it was great. I'm sure the presenter had a lovely time, but it's completely ridiculous.
It's alien to most of us.
It's completely
Even
alien.
if people go on holiday, they very rarely go for 3 weeks to the Caribbean.
Well, I wouldn't mind
Yes,
if
it
anybody
would be
wants to send
nice.
me, but it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, it's just not real.
Yeah. And I mean, and what I find quite interesting is some of the presenters sort of engage with it, don't they?
Yes,
And others
definitely don't.
definitely don't. Which I find even more interesting.
It's all really fascinating because
I mean, 'cause we could, for instance, Adam Frost, who is, I know, a very new presenter, but if we were to do in sort of, this is a guy who's got X amount of goals at Chelsea and who's, was trained by most people's favourite gardener.
Yes, and all of that stuff, but he's really engaged.
He's really
it.
engaged. I mean, the last time I interviewed him, I said to him at Chelsea, how do you feel? He said, honestly, I could do with a pint. And I thought, that's a proper gardener.
But
I'm
that's
exhausted.
the thing. I think that Gardeners World was at its peak when there were lots of people together in a garden doing that thing where they were kind of sharing knowledge. Whether they were or not is beside the point.
Yes, yeah.
But it came across that there was a knowledge share going on, and that they were interested in what each other were doing and talking about. But now it's just one person in a garden.
And we
It's a
don't
bit
even see
dull.
much of the garden, do we?
Well, it's all about the dogs.
It's a small percentage of the garden. That's the
Yeah,
interesting.
no, absolutely. That is, and you couldn't walk around the garden because
No.
you don't know how it goes.
No.
Because presumably there are bits that are private that nobody gets to see.
I seem to remember the figures are something like we see 40%.
Yes, yeah,
Which is-
I vaguely, having
is
had
the-
a conversation with the presenter last year,
Yeah.
there is at least 50% that we don't see.
Yeah, which is interesting. I just wondered. I mean, I love it. It makes my Friday.
But it's just
evenings.
fun, isn't it?
It's
and
fun.
it's not meant to be nasty and it's
No.
not meant to be unkind. It is occasionally. I'm really cross because I hate that thing where I spend my entire life teaching people how to good horticultural skills, and then somebody says it's too late to sow sweet peas when jolly well it's
it isn't.
not.
The positive is the sweet peas probably aren't watching and they don't read, so they don't mind.
No,
when
they
you sow
don't
them.
mind. No, but
So that is the positive,
yes.
isn't it? Fantastic.